96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Government to increase subsidies for state-owned enterprises. The status of the Freedom of Information Act implementation, still a mystery. And what's up with the proposed policy changes when it comes to car insurance? We're going to be talking about that. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we kick off our Labor Week series. We are going to be talking with the Trade Union Congress in our business hour. And we'll continue with our Labor Week series tomorrow, just before Labor Day on Friday. That's all ahead, but first it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Ministry of Finance finally releasing its monthly fiscal summary report for January and February of this year, both showing a slip in fiscal performance when compared to January and February of 2023. Preliminary data on the fiscal outturn for January 2024 showed an estimated deficit of $45.9 million, compared with a modest surplus of $3.1 million a year earlier. The report, released yesterday, said this outcome reflected a 26.5% increase in spending to $334.6 million. That's $70.8 million higher, which offset the 8.2% or $21.8 million rise in revenue receipts to $288.7 million. Tax receipts posted an improvement over the same period in the prior year of 11.1%. The results included year-over-year gains in the major revenue categories, including value-added tax receipts. But recurrent expenditure for the month was at $291 million, representing an increase of 19.5%. The Davis administration has increased subsidies for state-owned enterprises and statutory bodies by $9.6 million in the 24-25 fiscal year. While not commenting on the increase last week, Prime Minister Phil Davis says his administration is aiming to restrict the subvention given to such entities. The government has budgeted $465 million for recurrent subventions for these entities in the upcoming fiscal year, compared to $455 million allocated in the 23-24 fiscal year. Notable increases include the subsidy given to the Broadcasting Corporation, which will rise to $10.3 million compared to $9.3 million in the current fiscal year. The Clifton Heritage Authority subvention has risen to $3.7 million from $2.2 million, and the subsidy given to Antiquities, Monuments, and Museum Corporation also increasing to $2.6 million, well, from $2.6 million to $4.5 million. The subvention to the Public Hospitals Authority has increased from $222 million to $232 million. There's more in today's Nassau Guardian. Well, the Davis administration has allocated $140,000 once again for freedom of information, but it has been nearly 6 months since the public has been updated on efforts to fully implement FOIA. The Organization for Responsible Governance said on Monday it was sorely disappointed by the allocated funding of only $140,000, which it noted as inadequate for any real progress on FOIA implementation. Calling it a part of the Davis administration's vision for resilient and prepared Bahamas, Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for disaster management and preparedness, Leon Lundy, announcing the establishment of the Disaster Risk Management Authority. He said the new body represents the merging of NEMA, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, the DRA, which was established by the Minutes administration in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. Lundy says the government, along with dedicated agencies, have been working to enhance disaster preparedness. The press conference comes days after the start of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, which is expected to be an active one. The trial of a man accused of causing harm to his ex-girlfriend adjourned on Monday at the request of his lawyer. Philip McPhee Jr., who is free on $1,500 bail, appeared before Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. for the start of his causing harm trial. Prosecutors allege that McPhee caused harm to Leah Knowles on March 17th. She was in court to testify against McPhee. However, McPhee's lawyer, Terrell Butler, requested an adjournment, saying that he was not feeling well. The matter has been adjourned to July. A convicted killer claimed that his constitutional right to a fair trial was violated due to the incompetence of his then lawyer, Mauricio Ducil. Denar Davis was convicted of the November 2010 murder of Shariah Curry and the attempted murder of her son, Shanko Smith. They were the victims of a drive-by shooting in the Fawkes area on November 3rd. Davis, who by his own admission drove the shooters to the scene and helped them get away, was sentenced to 33 years and 10 months in prison. Davis claimed he didn't know that what the killers were planning when they asked him for a ride. After losing appeals to the Court of Appeal and the Privy Council, Davis filed a constitutional motion alleging that his right to a fair trial had been breached this year. Justice Gregory Hilton dismissed the motion as an abuse of process. Davis, on Tuesday, sought to appeal the decision, claiming that his former lawyer failed to challenge his statement. Prosecutor Kenny Thompson asked the panel of Sir Ian Winder and Sir Michael Barnett and Justice of Appeal John Isaacs to dismiss the appeal, which he described as a backdoor attempt to reopen an appeal. Thompson argued that Davis reposed sufficient confidence in Ducil to have him represent him at the Court of Appeal and Privy Council. Thompson said that there should be finality in litigation. The panel has reserved its decision. And public support for the use of for the legalization of the recreational use of marijuana for adults in this country has grown in the last decade. That's according to poll results from Bahamian market research and strategy firm Public Domain. 54% of the 432 respondents interviewed in May 2024 agreed that marijuana should be legalized for adults for recreational use. This compares to 40% of respondents in May 2014. 63% of males in the May 2024 survey agreed versus 49% in the older survey. 45% of females in this year's survey agreed compared to 31% a decade earlier. 60% of respondents in the 18 to 34 age group who were interviewed in May this year agreed compared to 56% 10 years ago. And 56% of respondents in the 35 to 54 age group this year agreed compared to 32% in May 2014. Overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden trying to address a major liability for his re-election campaign by taking executive action to significantly restrict asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border. But it's unclear whether his efforts will be enough to change the minds of voters who have increasingly voiced alarm over the record influx of migrants on his watch. Polls have found immigration and border security to be a top issue this election year, and one that has been seized on by former President Donald Trump and his campaign. Biden has shifted far to the right on immigration since winning campaign 4 years ago, when he criticized Trump's immigration priorities and he promised he would restore asylum protections. Many Democrats acknowledge that Biden now faces a wholly different political reality, even as key parts of his base push him to repudiate border restrictions and compare his move to Trump's policies as president. And a gunman was shot and captured by Lebanese soldiers after a shooting this morning outside the U.S. Embassy near Beirut that injured an embassy security guard. The attack took place as tensions continued to simmer in the tiny Mediterranean country, where months of fighting between Hezbollah militants and Israeli troops has displaced thousands along the border, following years of political deadlock and economic hardship. The Lebanese military, in a statement, saying that soldiers shot an assailant who they only described as a Syrian national. The gunman was wounded and taken to a hospital. And the rate Earth is warming hit an all-time high in 2023, with 92% of last year's surprising record-shattering heat caused by humans, according to top scientists. The group of 57 scientists from around the world used United Nations-approved methods to examine what's behind last year's deadly burst of heat. They said even with a faster warming rate, they don't see evidence of significant acceleration in human-caused climate change beyond increased fossil fuel burning. Last year's record temperatures were so unusual that scientists have been debating what's behind the big jump and whether climate change is accelerating or if other factors are in play. The study led by a Leeds University climate scientist, saying that, quote, if you look at this world accelerating or going through a big tipping point, things aren't doing that. Things are increasing in temperature and getting worse in sort of exactly the way we predicted. He said it's pretty much explained by the buildup of carbon dioxide from rising fossil fuel use. Last year, the rate of warming hit 0.26 degrees Celsius or 0.47 degrees Fahrenheit per decade, up from 0.25 degrees Celsius or 0.45 degrees Fahrenheit the year before. In sports, due to severe weather system that's expected to be over New Providence in the middle of next week, the third annual NACAC New Life Invitational has been moved from Wednesday, June 12th to Father's Day, Sunday, June 16th. It's going to be at the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. The total prize purse of $76,000 is up for grabs at one of the more popular one-day athletics meets in the region, and it's a major qualifier for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. It's the second year in a row that the New Life Invitational, staged by NACAC, the North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletic Association, will be held in the Bahamas. Last year it was held at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex in Freeport. The Bahamas senior men's national basketball team is eagerly preparing for the FIBA, the International Basketball Federation Olympic qualifiers scheduled for July. Before heading to Europe for the qualifiers, the team has organized an intensive training camp in the U.S. with 24 athletes expected to show up. The strategic decision, according to team officials, aims to fine-tune their skills and build team chemistry in preparation for crucial upcoming matches. With their sights set on securing a spot in the Olympics, team officials say recognizing the importance of training and strong preparation is vital. You can read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a persistent upper-level trough combined with a surface trough across the southeast Bahamas. That's going to support cloudiness and shower activity across most of the islands today. Meanwhile, weak high pressure will maintain light to moderate breezes. We've got the risk of localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas, especially in the central and southeast Bahamas, due to heavy and prolonged rainfall events. Boaters and beachgoers should be alert for possible waterspout activity. Your forecast for today: for the northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy and very warm with isolated showers and a few thunderstorms through tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas today, variably cloudy and warm with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the central Bahamas. 10 knots or less in the southeast Bahamas, falling light and variable at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central islands, but 1 to 3 feet in the southeast Bahamas. Currently, it's about 81 degrees in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Here in the Bahamas, we love our food. From savory comforters to refreshing coconut water, our cuisine reflects our vibrant culture and abundant natural resources. But as our population grows and global challenges like climate change loom, ensuring food security is more critical than ever. We at the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources want you to play your part by supporting local farmers and fishers. Together, we can reduce our carbon footprint and promote economic resilience within our communities. Let's honor our traditions, protect our environment, and ensure that the flavors of our Bahamas endure for future generations.
Bahamas, let's work together to lower our food import bill. Food security is in our hands.
Food security is in our hands.
Ignite your leadership capabilities, expand your vision, and chart the path to a bright future at the CIBC Caribbean Ignite Leadership Conference, 27th of June at Bahamar from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Join Sarah Kunst, a venerated entrepreneur who has worked at Apple and Red Bull. Sarah is a Forbes 30 Under 30 Future Innovator and has been honored by the Wall Street Journal. Also hear about the leadership journey of Anthony Ferguson and Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. This event is designed for senior business executives and and seasoned entrepreneurs. Register at cibcfcib.com/ignite to secure your space. Only successful registrants will be acknowledged. Join us for the Ignite Leadership Conference, June 27th at Bahamar.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center, your friendly and affordable vendor one-stop shop, where you can get all of your groceries, kids' lunch snacks, and vendor snacks items at the best prices in town. Don't believe us? Find us on Market Street in the red, white, and black building south of Chesapeake Road. We don't stock anything, we just buy deals, so you better get there first. Call us today at 6980123 or WhatsApp 557-2522, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Remember, always make us your first stop.
Applying for a mortgage but don't know where to start? Use these tips to speed up the process. First, visit your bank and get pre-qualified. This is an assessment of your ability to repay. To get pre-qualified, carry your passport, a recent pay stub or verification. If self-employed, 2 months bank statements and a bank reference letter. Ask questions. Is there an application or commitment fee? What will the interest rate be? Are there any closing costs or prepayment penalties? Get smart. Get MoneySmartBahamas.com.
RBC. Are you buying a home, renovating, or exploring mortgage options? With cash back and up to 90% financing, we'll find the perfect mortgage for you. Pre-qualify in just 60 seconds and get connected with a mortgage specialist today. Visit rbc.com/mortgages/all of you. RBC. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards. Chester Robards, good morning.
Good morning.
Were you here last week?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, why? Well, interesting.
You're always trying to throw some kind of...
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Good to see you. It's
Good to see you as well.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yes.
Well, and on the show. But yeah. All right. We have a lot to get to this morning. We're kicking off our Labor Week series. It's only 2 days this year, but we're going to get a lot in. We're going to begin with the Trade Union Congress this morning in our business hour. And then tomorrow, we've got more scheduled. Should I put this out there? Put them on the spot. Scheduled to, well, no, let me not do that. But anyway, we got a lot more tomorrow morning. You definitely don't want to miss that. You definitely don't. As we head into Labor Day, Randol Fawkes Labor Day on Friday. But there's a lot to talk about right now in the news. And in the news, okay, we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, a little bit later in the show, what the government announced last week about cracking down on people driving without insurance, right? And without licenses and all those things.
Right.
That's wonderful stuff. But one of the ways they're seeking to do this is questionable and has raised a lot of eyebrows, including mine, and I don't get it, and I don't know if they get it. We're going to talk about that, and hopefully we can steer them away from what it will be a disaster. There's still time, and we hope they are listening, and that calmer heads and rational thought will prevail in this insurance matter. But definitely something has to be done. This is chaos on the streets of New Providence, especially, but probably the whole Bahamas. There are tons of maniacs and criminals riding around here, proud to be dirty, as they like to put it, with no license, no insurance, no anything but speed and a demented mind.
Riding dirty.
It's insane. And we need to deal with them. And impound the car, absolutely. Totally support that. I'd crush the car, to tell you the truth. But anyway, but something else they're trying to do, not making any sense, and not quite what the insurance companies have said is the issue. So I don't know where that one came from. But
well, I mean, again, here's the government not reaching out to the people who know the industry best.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently they did. They have met with them. But where this came from is a mystery. I don't think this came up, but hopefully we'll hear from the BIA, the Bahamas Insurance Association, soon. But this wasn't. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show. But I know a lot of people have concerns. We heard, I think, on the Rock and Aaron Green, on the, what did I say? On the clock. And
well, that one makes sense, too.
And Aaron Green yesterday were talking about it, and a lot of you called in with your concerns, as you should. But don't let this one go. We just can't let this happen. We have to challenge this one without a doubt. Okay. Again, more on that in a bit. Some other things in the news today. A big headline in the Nassau Guardian: support bills for legalized cannabis. The survey suggests attitudes are shifting on recreational use. Of course, this is not on the table.
Right.
The government is not ready for that. And I don't know if the country's ready for it, but definitely not on the table. It is only medicinal use that we are inching closer towards. But according to Public Domain Research and Strategy, their poll of 432 respondents this year found that 54% agree that marijuana should be legalized for adults for recreational use. That compares to 40% in a survey they did in 2014. So, interesting stuff there. And I'm not surprised. I don't know if you are by these numbers.
No.
Yeah. Thought it would be a little higher, actually. Pardon the pun. Yeah. Okay, so you can read that in today's Nassau Guardian. An interesting story there. All right, so the other big stories. More on the budget as reporters go through and find out more information. The fiscal outturn slip at the start of the year. You can read about that today. But also government's increasing subsidies for SOEs, the state-owned enterprises. And that's up by 9.6%, $9.6 million in the 24-25 fiscal year. So we've seen notable increases in the subsidy given to the Broadcasting Corporation, which will rise from $10.3 million, will rise to $10.3 million from $9.3 million in the current fiscal year. Clifton Heritage Authority's subvention has risen to $3.7 million from $2.2 million. Antiquities, Monuments, and Museums Corporation increased from $2.6 million to $4.5 million. Public Hospitals Authority has increased from $222 million to $232 million. And the National Art Gallery has increased from $1.2 million to $1.7 million. Some subsidies remain the same, though, or unchanged. Water and Sewage Corporation for development projects is $36 million. Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches receiving $24 million. And a few have actually had their subsidies cut. Bahamas National Statistical Institute has been reduced to $4 million from $5.8 million. Bahamas Air subsidy has been reduced from $25 million. No, has been reduced to $25 million from $28 million. And the current fiscal year, the government slashed the budget allocation for subventions to entities by $37 million. Now, at that time, Davis said that his administration was committed to ensuring that state-owned enterprises operated with financial responsibility. So what's causing the increase for some this year? Hopefully we'll find out more. Debate kicks off today. All right. So the other thing, though, is I don't think this increased at all, but it's certainly very low compared to everything else. The Davis administration has allocated $140,000 once again for freedom of information. $140,000. But it has been nearly 6 months since the public has been updated on efforts to fully implement the Freedom of Information Act. $140,000. That's like in some places one person's salary.
I was gonna ask that probably doesn't include the salaries for anybody who works.
Are you sure?
Well, I think government worker salary will come under an entirely different line, right?
Let's see. The Organization for Responsible Governance said on Monday it was sorely disappointed by the allocated funding of $140,000, which it noted is inadequate for any real progress on FOIA implementation. Org said on Monday this amount is insufficient for necessary technology, training within the government, and public education. Adequate funding is essential for realizing the benefits of this long-awaited right. Now, efforts yesterday to reach Information Commissioner Keith Thompson and Attorney General Ryan Pinder were unsuccessful. The last time Thompson spoke to the Nassau Guardian at the end of 2023, he said the only thing his office was waiting on was the technology, which rests in the purview of the Office of the Prime Minister, and the tabling and passage of the FOIA regulations. Shortly after that update, Prime Minister Philip Davis said the full implementation of FOIA was not a top priority for his government, insisting instead that the cost of living was a more pressing concern. And of course, days later, Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell controversially claimed that the Davis administration opposes the idea of freedom of information. In an interview with ZNS Grand Bahama in January, Mitchell, who was also the chairman of the PLP, said FOIA, along with the Fiscal Responsibility Act and the Procurement Act, quote, have nothing to do with ordinary lives, and referred to the pieces of legislation as a, quote, bunch of public relations, accounting procedures, and confusing activity with action. The first Freedom of Information bill was passed under the last Ingram administration, and a revamped FOIA bill passed in 2017 under the last Christie-led PLP government. Though the F&M led by former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis promised full implementation of FOIA ahead of the 2017 general election, that never happened. However, some progress was made during that term, including Thompson's appointment as Information Commissioner. The full implementation was promised by this current administration in the speech from the throne following the 2021 general election. And here we are, still in the same position as we've always been. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be good to know. What does that include? Or is that outside of the salaries? I think how much staff do they have?
I don't know.
Only
the commissioner, maybe,
and a deputy.
Somebody. Yeah.
There got to be more than that. But
do they have to pay? Do they have to pay the Office of the Prime Minister for the software? Are they holding up on it or something? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. But $140,000, while some other people getting millions there. Consultants went up though.
All I want to say is that they didn't really care about it.
Consultants make it a lot more than that.
They need consultants for this, clearly.
There are many consultants who would not accept $140,000 as their pay.
Oh, no.
How dare you? Do you not know who I am? Boy, I tell you. Well, all right, so let's hear from you on that. What do you make of it? What we've talked about so far. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Okay, we'll get to the text messages in just a bit. NEMA's got a new name. It's now the Disaster Risk Management Authority.
So it went from the DRA.
Well, it was NEMA and the DRA.
And it was NEMA and the DRA.
They've merged.
And now it's the DRMA.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some might call it drama. No. But, yeah, so why was it merged? Why did this happen? Well, according to the, what's this? This is a long title. Leon Lundy. He's the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for disaster management and preparedness. He announced that this DRMA, the new body with the merging of NEMA and the DRA, was established to bring, I guess, I'm trying to say, streamline and strengthen disaster management functions. By merging NEMA and the DRA, we have created a unified entity focusing on preparing for, mitigating, and responding to disasters. For more on this, take a listen to this report from our Destiny Johnson.
Just days before Labor Day, staff members from the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute.
My apologies, that's not the right report. We'll get the right one, but that's for another report we'll get to later. All right, so this is, again, by merging NEMA and the DRA, we've created a unified entity focused on preparing for, mitigating, and responding to disasters with unparalleled precision and efficiency. This consolidation ensures a comprehensive and cohesive framework for disaster risk management, embracing innovation to fortify our resilience. Okay, you get it? Letty said the DRMA will develop and implement a national disaster risk management plan. I thought we have that already. And a national disaster emergency plan. Isn't that what NEMA is supposed to do? These strategic blueprints cover risk assessment, disaster risk mitigation, preparedness measures, financial safeguards, and the strengthening of governance frameworks. Thought we already were here. No?
Well, now we need a new one because we got a new thing.
I don't understand. Our ultimate goal is unequivocal: to enhance the safety and security of our citizens in the face of hurricanes. So before the establishment of the DRA, or the DRMA, the DRA, okay, I'm confused now. NEMA was a primary organization dedicated to managing disasters. In justifying the need for the DRA, Prime Minister Minnis, the former Prime Minister, said that it would help to cut through the red tape and bureaucracy. However, now, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who was at the time a member of the opposition, questioned the decision to establish a new authority instead of fixing the issues with NEMA. Cooper argued that creating a new authority would only make things more complicated, which it probably did. Lundy said yesterday that the creation of the so they're not using the A. Is that what this is? DRM. Okay. Oh, boy. DRM is only one of several steps being taken by the government to better prepare for disasters. Okay. All right. So that's interesting. I see that in the Tribune at the same press conference to announce this yesterday, Managing Director Aaron Sargent said the government is seeking to build at least 5 hurricane shelters that could withstand Category 5 storms over the next 2 years.
Shelter building was supposed to start like 2020, 2021.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 10 years ago.
Well,
but okay.
obviously, it should have started a very long time ago.
Yes. But we've talked about this many times. All-purpose shelters.
Yeah.
That would be, right, made to withstand the strongest hurricanes.
Instead of building government buildings and then calling them hurricane shelters.
Or putting them in churches.
Or putting them in churches.
And schools.
That were never particularly built to be a hurricane shelter.
Built in the 1800s. Okay. Hurricane Dorian, of course, highlighted the insufficiency of such facilities as schools, which are usually used as shelters, and prompted officials to say they would construct hurricane-resistant shelters on each island. This year's hurricane season is projected to be the most active in years, with NOAA projecting 17 to 25 storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes. Sargent said officials are working with regional partners in the United Kingdom to get funding for purpose-built shelters.
But they got funding for a shelter already. What happened to that?
He noted that the construction of a shelter in Central Pines, Abaco is moving full speed ahead.
Oh, okay, there it is. Full speed. Where is it now? Because we haven't heard anything about it.
The building would be able to withstand Category 5 storms with winds up to 200 miles per hour. It'll be completed by the end of this year.
Okay. Moving forward.
There you go. You got your answers.
There's one.
Mm-hmm. But will be usable this summer in an emergency.
Oh, it's far.
So there you go. Look at that.
Is it underground? Is it?
I don't have those details. But officials are also set to open a similar building in South Andros.
When?
Officials said 144 hurricane shelters would be available this hurricane season, and shelter inspections were completed as of May 30th. Chairman of the DRM Authority, why not just say DRMA? Okay, DRM Alex Storr said the country is ready to handle a strong storm. He said, quote, the infrastructure is in place. I can't say we are ready for a Hurricane Dorian-type storm because nobody could be, but we are ready to tackle whatever comes our way. You can be confident in that.
All right. So we got one new hurricane shelter.
Ready soon.
Ready this summer. That's interesting. So if it's finished at the end of the year, but it's ready this summer, where is it at? It got a roof and stuff, right?
It'll be complete by the end of the year, but it will be usable this summer. Officials are set to open a similar building in South Andros. Now, this is a picture in here. A new hurricane shelter recently completed in Andros, although it says...
Oh, it's in Andros.
Officials are set to open a similar building in Andros, but... Okay, interesting. But
what?
I'm confused. No picture of the Abaco.
But that doesn't look like a hurricane shelter. I mean, I don't know what a hurricane shelter is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm. Well, things are happening. Well, that's great. That's great. We've been talking about that forever. I still think we need to have some of those airboats around for massive flooding like we saw during Joaquin and Irma, and even Matthew, right? Something like that. Because relying on the big trucks can only get you so far. But one day. Let's hear from you, though, folks. Let's go to the phone lines and hear what you have to say. Good morning. Call, you're on the air. Are you there? Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
I hope both of you are doing well.
Yes.
Dwight, when I called earlier after the Prime Minister's address, and I mentioned the fact that nothing was said about the FOIA, you said that, that's just a basic synopsis. I think when the trade came on afterwards, and, we would hear more about it, and, obviously, he could have mentioned all of the penalties for insurance issues, because for him, he felt that is what the Bahamians wanted to hear, and we didn't want to hear about the freedom of information. Just like Mr. Fred Mitchell said, it's not a priority for this government. Mr. Alfred Gray made a statement several years ago. He said that, once Bahamians are working and are making money, they don't care what the government does. And I think that's the posture that this present government is taking. That, once we could get people working and whatnot, man, we could do whatever we want.
I think it's the posture of every government of the Bahamas, ever.
Yeah. And Dwight, not only did we hear nothing about FOIA, we heard nothing about the National Development Plan. The Prime Minister said that he would reconstitute it. I don't know, it sounds like powdered milk to me. And to get it, back on ground, we've heard nothing about the National Development Plan, because to this government, it's not a priority. And we see the way this government is, how it's functioning, it's all over the place. It don't seem like it has a cohesive plan for this country. And we need a national development plan. Every time you listen to Mr. Poe, Mr. Gowan Poe, he reiterates what I'm saying. We need to have a national development plan so that when these governments and whoever government is in place, we have a plan that we will follow. Look what's happened with NEMA. I think all countries have a NEMA, right? All countries have a national emergency plan. Now, you're going to dismantle that and put in whatever you want to do, but we need a plan, man. If you don't have a plan, you will, any road will get you to where you go, and you're going to end up.
Well, I don't know if this one is necessarily bad. I mean, these two, why did we have the two? It should have been all one from the beginning. That's what people were saying.
NEMA, it should be NEMA, and then you have these sub-categories, because NEMA should be the National Emergency Initiative. And then you just like in a county, you have a general ledger, and you have all these sub accounts underneath that. But NEMA should be the governing body. But they want to put their people in place, I guess. Like we need a plan for this country. We need, all of us, the citizens, need to know how we're going to run this country. Yes, this government say we are working according to our plan or whatever they come. And they come with their plan for the 5 years. Then the F&M, if they get in power, they're going to come with their plan. And the next one, they're going to come with their plan. And all we do is wasting money. We don't even know what's going to happen with BPL in another 2 weeks. We need to get these people together so that we can. There are intelligent people in this country who have the answers. So we stop just wasting money. And the government did not report to us for the last 3 months, and it returns in terms of its revenue. Why are you going to present a budget just for 9 months? We don't know what in terms of revenue the government will receive for April, May, and June. And what's going to happen? The budget debate is going to start, and all of that is going to morph right into the new year. Just like Palm said yesterday on Monday on his show, our deficit will be in the region of $500 million, $500 million, just like I said, because we have no figures. Follow the central bank's report, and you would see what's happening in this country. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, let's take some other calls. Good morning, you're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to Dwight of the Bahamas. Chester, to you, too.
Good morning.
Dwight, first of all, the NEMA, right? NEMA, that's the former name, NEMA? They've been promising us a hurricane strategy since 2006. And I think the same person in charge now was in charge then. And we don't have a strategy for any of the islands in the Bahamas.
What does that mean?
Like, for instance, if you have a hurricane, this whole thing with hurricane shelters, hurricane strategy, response, supposed to have a supply network, all of those different things supposed to be published. That was promised us when NEMA first came about. To date, I can't find anything of that sort that's been done. So whether the hurricane is here, there, anywhere, what do these particular islands do? Where do they go? What is the response plan? It doesn't exist. The scariest thing is that we talk about freedom of information. It won't happen until you get a government that understands digitalization, datification, and digital transformation in this pure sense. Why? Because understand, freedom of information is access to data, not people looking for files in the basement and all of these different things. It doesn't happen. But here's the point I make. I want you to imagine, and this has been promised in 2006, that if we have a hurricane that hits New Providence, government is upset, disrupted. How do we run a country? And that is what has been promised and talked about and everything else of that sort. What do we do with 300,000 people on New Providence? We see that even for Grand Bahama, we're still using happenstance locations that people donate for people to run to. But we are not, either we have to develop a strategy or we have to move the country. Just put it in another location so we don't have to deal with the hurricanes. And so until we actually begin to get serious about everything that we talk about, this freedom of information, pass all the laws, but you will have no access to the data. It's like we just keep making stuff up without any type of follow-through, any type of publishing. We have statements made for policy that nobody can tell you what it is. It's just simply utterances. We don't do this, we do that, we don't do this. It's like, when are we going to get good governance? And that's what we have to begin to argue for as we move towards another election.
Okay.
Who is competent to be able to do that? Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Well, I believe NEMA was going to do all of that, but of course their mission changed. Every time the government changes, missions change. And they were mainly on the education part. And then you had this other entity that was supposed to handle disasters. So one educating, one handling, but plans and all the other things, I don't know. But maybe it seems like the attempt is being made to centralize everything and do all of what you're asking for and looking for in this one group.
Isn't it weird for a politician to talk about breaking through red tape and bureaucracy?
Well, it isn't weird for that politician to have said that. Because, good morning, you're on the air. Hi, are you there? Good morning, caller. All right, let's take this line. Good morning, you're on Morning Blend. No, okay, call us back. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to both of you.
Hi.
Boy, Dwight, I tell you, I like On the Rock because time stands still when you're on the rock.
Oh,
I
yeah?
gotta let everyone know.
Okay. Maybe we should do a special segment call that on the show.
Yeah. But you know, Dwight, there are some people who rely heavily, every monthly, on the stats that come from the automatic data processing in U.S. and the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because the market moves when these reports are given. So, you know, $140,000 budgeted for the Freedom of Information, it's an insult to anybody who's thinking about, well, what do I do next? You know, there's nothing I can do with that, because that means that's going nowhere. That money is going to be used for a trip somewhere. And then the full implementation was promised, according to what I heard you say. And so as a reporter, let's suppose I was a reporter, would it be safe for me to say that, Mr. You lied, similarly like what happened recently?
You don't want to use those words, but we're waiting. We're still waiting for what was promised.
But wait, you know, I promised a young lady that she's going to have a surprise when she comes from school today. She's going to school looking forward to that. She'll probably do best in school today because she's looking forward to the surprise. When you promise somebody something, you got to take into account that they may be expecting it.
Unless you always promise, and then you don't deliver, and then they won't really be checking.
But that's where we are. That's where we are. But you know, I'm looking for Pintar to make a difference. Thanks, man.
Okay, all right. One more call before we get to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Stewart.
Hi.
Good morning, Chester.
Morning.
Nothing much to say this morning, right? But, you know, the last caller really compounded my thoughts. And, you know, I realized that this freedom of the information is not just limited to the government's business. It can be environmental information that I want to find out. Like, for example, the information that Jerome Fitzgerald withheld. For example, in the 90s, there was a diesel spill at Crystal Palace and Radisson, respectively. I mean, it was all a joint venture. It was never reported. It's in the logbook. So I know within myself, just from history, that environmentalism is a farce here. It is a farce because I know it's lacking because I'm kind of a little knowledgeable in the scientific arena. And so for me, the lack of freedom of the information is like the Dark Ages when the Pope them controlled the Bible and had it locked down inside the church. It's no different, Mr. Strawn. We are in the Dark Ages, and we need to see the pages. Give thanks. Be tired of clowns on the stages.
Okay, all right, thanks a lot. Let's read your text messages here. This person says here, oh boy, this is for another show. This is for a show for last night. You want me to read this? I guess.
Does it fit?
No, but it's
okay.
interesting. Anyway. Checking in from Tampa, never going back. Overqualified for that country. Oh, boy.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
Never going back to the Bahamas?
Must be.
Okay. Was that a consultant?
I don't know. Yeah, not for us. It's a 242 number, though. But anyway. Great show, as usual. Only the one who feels it knows it. Everyone grieving for different reasons. This is all... Okay, what's going on? These are a lot that slipped in. Yep. Okay. The amount allotted to the FOIA compared to the extra $200,000 for the emperor's travel is why I refuse to waste a minute of time voting in this banana republic.
I know who sent that. That was my friend. So my friend always tell me you don't vote because
you think it's only one person.
I'm just saying.
Okay. This person says, what I know about road traffic, a vehicle can only be impounded if fraudulent use of a license plate is suspected, i.e. plates not matching or plates not corresponding with the disc. If you're pulled over for a traffic violation, traffic police may ask for your driver's license or insurance certificate. Unless this is changed under the Road Traffic Act, it is unlawful to impound a vehicle based on invalid or, to my knowledge, insurance.
They are changing.
Yeah, Texter. They could change anything. They're going to change it. That's what they're saying they're going to do, right? So, yeah, they're going to change it. Not yet, but this is what they're telling you they're going to do. Anyway, every incident of such can be challenged in court. Driver's license and insurance are merely taxes. It is not a crime to have no vehicle insurance. Are you sure? You sure?
Why are you reading the rest of it?
You sure? I just want people to know what you're dealing with. When you see this little hatchback weaving in front of you, know that it's a psychopath who thinks tax and I don't need to pay no stinking taxes.
What's the tax? Insurance?
Mm-hmm. What? Yeah, that's what he said. Merely taxes. Not a crime to have no vehicle insurance. It is. It is a traffic violation. Okay. Oh boy. Can we that would be a crime. I was gonna say, can we label the people so we know who we're dealing with? Like you could put a letter on them. No,
you mean in the text phone?
That sounds no. I mean on the people themselves. Oh. So if you feel that insurance is not something you need, and then we could keep them on certain roads. This sounds very Nazi-like. Let me stop. But if only. Oh, boy. You're driving next to that person right now.
Texting Morning Blend while they're driving?
Who needs insurance? Insurance. I don't know. Whatever.
As they weave through the...
And smash into your car.
Morning traffic with their knee on the steering wheel. Texting Morning Blend.
Mm-hmm. While eating with a fork and knife. Oh, boy. Good morning, Dwight. I like your name. Drama for the new Nima.
Maybe that's why they kicked the A off. Don't let them put the A on. You know what they're going to do to us?
They'll all call it drama all the time. Oh, boy. I don't believe any of it. This is a text. Just first talking about disaster management and then rounding the discussion to hurricanes. It's a failure out the gate. We have two ongoing disasters not mentioned at all. Fires in Abaco, Andros, and New Providence. And you remember the Bahamas' burning speech. Where's the plan for mobilization of a firefighting force? Where's the plan to equip each island with adequate firefighting vehicles and maintenance of the same? Where is it? Secondary, oil spills appear to be happening all over the country, a number caused by the failed infrastructure of a major fuel supplier. One oil spill is ongoing 8 weeks now with no solution in sight. The oil was discovered in a 4-foot trench just this week, with the water table said to be 3 feet. The oil from the Dorian Equinor oil spill is still saturating the ground in Grand Bahama. Where is this newly prepared DRM on that? Or is wide-scale community poisoning not a potential disaster? It's a very good text.
You're very good.
It's everything's punctuated properly. This is. I wish every text were like this. This is wonderful. Thank you, Texter, for that. You've thought that through, and it was very.
Whatever happened to the community poisoning in Marathon? What became of that?
The building is still.
The building's still unusable.
And the home is also, They just put signs on it now.
People opening their taps and lighting it on fire.
Not still are.
No, I don't think so.
But wow. The amount allocated to FOIA compared to the extra $200,000, we already did this. No, it is. It is. He says, yes, it is me, your friend, Chester. Okay. You know it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This is the same texter who said insurance is just a tax. They'll have to change. Okay. Well, at least you will do that. I'm happy that you will do that. Because he says that if it does become the law, he'll change. He or she will change.
As in buy insurance?
If the car could get impounded.
Change? What do you mean change? Change what?
I don't know.
Change my ways?
What if the dirtiest Joneser came to you with a solution to the country's problems? Would you do your best to see he gets the help he needs or dismiss him? What type of help you mean? So he could get a bath or something? What do you mean? The solutions to our problems will come from the most unlikely individuals. We will need to learn to reward merit and accept truth, no matter the messenger.
Wait a sec. That text is weird. If you recognize that he had the answer to the question, to the country's problems, why would you get him the help he needs?
I think he means get him to where he could help us, really make a difference. Just idea.
Kidding.
Why is he dirty? And why is he a Joneser?
They had to set the stage for you, or anybody in this country.
I hear that all the time. I hear all kinds of drunkards telling you all the stuff that you're right, but you are very drunk, and you're always drunk.
Go to bed. Let's talk about it in the morning.
Right. What do you do? I mean, yeah. I get your point, though. But those people often don't want to be associated with politics in our country.
No.
They're happy being, it seems. I'm sure they had other opportunities, but they're happier being dirty Jonesers or drunkards.
Yes.
Sadly. It's just the way of the world. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Yes, my brothers, we are continuing the status quo tradition in the Bahamas, right? Well, we do absolutely nothing to change the Bahamas, but we just continue on with what we used to, doing nothing in the Bahamas, right? We didn't change this name called, I think it started off as Disaster Preparedness Unit, then it gone into we on the fourth description of this unit, right? And the fourth description of this unit, and we ain't get one building built under none of those names for disaster preparedness in this country, right? It's just the continuance of the status quo.
Now, what do you mean by one building? You mean like a shelter or something? That's what you mean? Because, I don't know if they were supposed to do that.
I'm talking like a proper, braggadocious disaster building that every Bahamian, inclusive of the politician would build it, could be proud of. That don't exist nowhere.
Well, I don't know if they were previously mandated to do that, right?
No, but Dwight, they don't. The point I'm trying to raise to you, right? Why our government, with this status quo attitude, continue bringing name changes to the Bahamian people, right? The fluff of these matters as if they doing something significant for the Bahamian people or the future generation, right? Why haven't we seen yet after Dorian major constructions around this Commonwealth, especially in critical areas where we know this being impacted by the storm, right? That's what
I mean. There is a real answer to that question, right? I mean, we really were trying to deal with Dorian, and then we had 2 years where the country was shut down. So there've been things.
Right. I agree with you, Dwight. But see the focus, Dwight. Right? What you said, right, is all a fact, right? But see, our focus as a people and a government is not on the development of this country or the growing of this nation, right? Because by now, you don't think we should have done, just like my cousin said, you don't think we should have had some type of national plan enshrined in our Constitution, right? So that any of these status quo wishy-washy governments come in power, they don't even have to go look to what they do because it's already enshrined in the Constitution as far as that is concerned. Why we have so much educated people in this country, but it seems like their education goes as far as the bank door.
Oh boy. Okay, we got to go to the news. All of you are right, but to mix all this in at the same time is not helpful. This is a new entity. Hopefully, we'll correct the things that the DRA didn't get right and that NEMA didn't get right. And now that they're together, it'll be more like what people are saying this morning they wanted to see all along, hopefully. I know we're all very frustrated and jaded, and so already the negativity started, but that might not be fair. Let's see what happens now, all right? But the national plan thing, that's a totally different story. And to mix it up with this... Well, anyway, we'll have a lot more to talk about after the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. And now at 8:25, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all of your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And here's what's happening. We've got a persistent upper-level trough combined with surface trough across the southeast Bahamas. That's going to support cloudiness and shower activity across most of the islands today. Meanwhile, weak high pressure will maintain light to moderate breezes. Also, the risk of localized flooding remains high in low-lying and flood-prone areas, especially in the central and southeastern islands, due to heavy and prolonged rainfall events. Boaters and beachgoers should be alert for possible waterspout activity as well. Your forecast for today for the northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy and very warm with isolated showers and a few thunderstorms through tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy and warm with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Temperatures today getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, mid to upper level troughing combined with moisture streaming from the northwest Caribbean will support a wet weather pattern across the islands through Friday, the holiday, Labor Day. Weak surface pressure will maintain light to gentle winds across the islands. So for Thursday, tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, warm with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Friday, Randol Fawkes Labor Day, variably cloudy and warm with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. The tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 5 days or even 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check. Also brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Are you shopping for a new car? Well, before you decide, compare. Easy Car Sales invites you to try an electric vehicle. Take a test drive. You will love the smooth, powerful ride and the big gas savings. Dump the pump and drive electric. You will never go back to gas. Drop into Easy Car Sales on Gladstone Road or visit easy242.com to find out more. Time for a check of traffic brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. Got a lot of hot spots to tell you about in your real-time traffic this morning. As usual, Milo Butler Highway. Heavy traffic from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout, from well south of Bellet Road even, straight through to the roundabout with Tawny Williams-Darling Highway, and a lot of congestion as you approach that roundabout from many different directions. Westbound on Tawny Williams-Darling Highway, eastbound on Harold Road, Tawny Williams-Darling Highway, and southbound on Milo Butler Highway towards that roundabout. Fire Trail is busy for you as well, east and westbound towards their roundabout, and then at the end of Milo Butler Highway near Carmichael, you're going to be seeing heavy traffic on Carmichael and in the Faith Avenue area, so keep that in mind this morning. Over on Gladstone Road, manageable for you this morning if you're heading northbound. Elsewhere, some slow-moving traffic on Carmichael, westbound to Coral Harbor Road, and heavy traffic for you eastbound as you get closer to Blue Hill Road on Carmichael. So from about Fire Trail straight through to Blue Hill. Blue Hill's busy for you from south of St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound, especially north of Soldier Road. We've also got Soldier Road looking busy for you near the intersection with Prince Charles Drive and Robinson Road, especially north of that intersection on the way to Burnt Wolf and Village Road and Robinson. You're not moving west of Soldier straight through to Old Trail this morning. Marathon also getting busy for you northbound at this hour. Eastern Road just east of Fox Hill to about Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. Slow-moving traffic there. And a bit of congestion and slow-moving traffic on Shirley Street up to about Kemp Road and Fowler Street. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information.
To the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind. In your studio, your office, your sacred space. Here's to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle. Every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Hey Dunkin' fans, get ready to celebrate the sweetest day of the year, National Donut Day, June 7th. For one day only, Friday, June 7th, enjoy a free donut with the purchase of any drink at Dunkin'. That's right, your favorite coffee, iced tea, or frozen drink gets even better with a delicious donut on the house. Choose from our mouth-watering lineup, classic glazed, chocolate frosted, jelly-filled, and more. There's a perfect donut for everyone. So mark your calendars and head to Dunkin' on June 7th, because at Dunkin', we make every day a little sweeter. Don't miss National Donut Day, Friday, June 7th.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fawkes Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Here's the Sure-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. We also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp,
clays.
stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy?
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
At Simplified Lending, we've unscrambled the loan process, making it fast and hassle-free. Personal, business, medical. You apply, we'll reply in as little as 24 hours. Call us today at 603-1730 or stop by Simplified Lending in the R&D Plaza on JFK Drive. Simplified Lending for simplified living.
Simplified lending for simplified living. Simplified lending for simplified living.
Are you tired of the hustle and bustle of city life, yearning for a relaxing getaway without the headaches of international travel? Well, we've got just the thing for you. Escape to paradise without leaving home with our limited time 2-fly free offer for Bahamas residents. Whether you're craving adventure, seeking to reconnect with your roots, or simply yearning to unwind in secluded shores, the Family Islands has something for everyone. But you better act fast, because this incredible 2-fly free offer is only available until June 30th. Don't let this opportunity slip away. So why wait? Book your trip today. Escape the ordinary, discover the extraordinary, and experience the magic of the Family Islands. Visit BahamasResidence.com for more information and start planning your ultimate island getaway today.
Ignite your leadership capabilities, expand your vision, and chart the path to a bright future at the CIBC Caribbean Ignite Leadership Conference, 27th of June at Bahamar from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Join Sarah Kunst, a venerated entrepreneur who has worked at Apple and Red Bull. Sarah is a Forbes 30 Under 30 Future Innovator and has been honored by the Wall Street Journal. Also hear about the leadership journey of Anthony Ferguson and Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. This event is designed for senior business executives and seasoned entrepreneurs. Register at cibcfcib.com/ignite to secure your space. Only successful registrants will be acknowledged. Join us for the Ignite Leadership Conference, June 27th at Bahamar.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Stronlow, Chester Robards. No more drama. Why is that song being played? I don't understand.
No more Dharma?
Welcome back to the show. Okay, so we're going to get into this insurance thing in just a bit. But before the break, I said it. I don't know why everyone... I know expectations are low because we've been promised so many things. And the previous caller mentioned something very important, that how many different iterations we've had of this type of agency. I think it was something before NEMA and then things after. And now, and yet we still are in the same boat almost. Although there does seem to be some movement already with the new agency, the DRM. But the negativity is unfortunate, right, already, because the expectations are so low that all these promises will be met and kept, right?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But we were talking off air. You made a very interesting point.
No, because we had NEMA during Dorian. And when you think about the big first response to getting help and getting people out, it didn't come from the national emergency anything. It came from a private group with head nose, or was it nose at the point? Whatever it was. It came from a private group, loads of volunteers from the private sector, which is fine. Which is fine.
Because even before that, with Irma and Joaquin, same thing.
They went into action right away. And it seemed like what the national emergency people had to do was get on board with them to now start to mobilize things.
Yeah, boy.
Which leads me to ask the question, because I don't know the answer to it. Who does the National Guard folks come under? Who do they answer to now?
This the Youth Guard?
Youth Guard.
Office of the Prime Minister.
So not Dermo.
Well, the minister responsible is Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister. So, it is perhaps related. Related.
See, this is where we run into problems. It needs to be stated, written, again, in a plan,
Yeah,
that
but that's
says-
only one of the things they're going to be doing, right? They will help out with disasters, but there are other things that the
that's
youth
fine.
guard.
I'm
folks
just
will
I'm
do.
just saying, like I didn't hear it mentioned.
Yeah.
I didn't personally. But,
Mm-hmm.
I know that their big thing is
Right.
emergencies
Yes,
and
yes.
responses.
Yeah, well, I guess under the tent of the Office of the Prime Minister, it will be
But-
closely related.
But again, ineffective if there is not a plan for people to kick into some kind of action when things happen. And again, as we saw with Dorian, it wasn't the people, like the first people on the ground trying to say, gather the resources and get moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was private.
Yeah, wow. Before we move on, this text here, you're not right, Dwight. We are just so used to nonsense. Any nonsense sounds good. Here's what would make sense. Have your name changed, like the prison name change, with everybody still using slot buckets. 3 years post-correctional name change. I think it may be more than that now.
No, yeah, more than that.
But when you have your press conference to announce your new name, at the same time announce that the strategic plan to guide the new approach can be downloaded from the website, and the plan better look like someone was thinking. No more they just get there and hoping. We never do this before time. Every single project is something someone never did before. Skills and qualifications are supposed to account for that.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, it was private groups, right, with donated money that pretty much put Abaco back together as well. I can't say how much the DRE did, and I'm sure they did a lot in their time, but again, after all that, then drama occurred with the DRE.
Yeah.
As with everything we touch that has government's signature on
Almost from day one, there was drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate,
Wow.
especially when it comes to those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Disasters.
Oh, boy. That's really, really very unfortunate. All right, so this is drama here. What is going on with the insurance situation that the government is proposing? The Tribune wrote about it yesterday. Transport Minister JoBeth Colby Davis says impending changes to the Road Traffic Act, which will require people to renew their insurance policies in their birth month, will encourage deeper compliance with the law and reduce the number of uninsured vehicles. Under the changes, which would take effect in January, people would not be able to renew their car licenses with an insurance policy that will lapse in less than 6 months. The changes sparked mixed reviews from residents when revealed last week. Colby Davis said yesterday, which would have been Monday, the Royal Bahamas Police Force have indicated that accidents involving unlicensed vehicles and or uninsured vehicles are on the rise. Obviously, the majority of vehicle owners are in compliance with road traffic laws and regulations. Is it a majority? I don't know if I go that far. Anyway, however, there are a few who continue to not. This is a serious concern. In short, it is a threat to the safety of Bahamians. The government of the Bahamas must protect all Bahamians. We must be responsive to trends, and the data suggests that stricter enforcement is necessary. The amendment seeks to ensure that we encourage deeper compliance and go after those few vehicle users who do not. We know that most, if not all, insurance companies have payment options and various plans in place to assist. As minister with responsibility for transport, my number one priority is to improve road safety. Well, if the road traffic amendment is passed, residents must renew their car license and insurance policy in the same month. Police officers would be empowered to seize uninsured and unlicensed vehicles and require owners to pay $300 to release their cars. Oh, my goodness. Chief Superintendent of Police David Lockhart, who previously headed the traffic division, said last year that 50% of cars involved in traffic accidents were uninsured, and call for penalty increases. So the majority, clearly not a majority. exactly. But anyway, he complained that some people had been getting temporary cover notes to license their vehicles without completing the insurance process. And that's a very key point there. I'm going to come back to that in just a bit. This makes what they're proposing very silly.
Yeah.
Very silly. Anyway, some believe the new rules are long overdue, and then they talk to people who are talking about it. But others are saying how they won't be able to do this because it costs too much in the same month to have to license and register the vehicle and often get your driver's license renewed, and now to come up with the at least a first payment for the insurance. It's going to be a major burden for a lot of people. And a lot of people are intentionally not buying or getting new cars in the same month as their birthday because of situations like this.
Yeah.
So again, go back to what Lockhart said last year. Some people have been getting temporary cover notes to license their vehicles without completing the insurance process. So obviously the people who are getting the insurance the same month that they're registering the vehicle are the people you really do need to be looking out for, especially if they come with a temporary cover note, right?
Right.
Not somebody whose insurance is going to expire in 3 to 4 to 5 months. They've had the insurance for most of the year. They still have it. It's in place. The person who comes with the insurance they just took out, who might likely cancel it as soon as they get the car licensed, is that person not the problem? Possibly. Right. Not so much the person whose insurance is going to be up later in the year.
I don't know if we talk because my brain's all in circles trying to figure this out.
Right. So let's use myself. Birthday in April.
Right.
Car. My insurance is due in July.
Right.
That's under 6 months.
Right.
They're going to tell me I can't do this.
Right. Exactly.
This is foolish.
Yeah. Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right? If I were to just go in there with insurance I just took out.
Yeah. They would tell you no.
No, if I were in April, right, to come there with, I just got new insurance, I could be the one that by May will cancel this. And we will be driving around for a whole year before I get new insurance next year. This is not the way to deal with this. There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And I think we know better ways. But this one, I don't understand.
Yeah.
What will this do? Someone please explain.
Well, I spoke to insurance person yesterday, and they seemed to suggest that this could not have come from insurance people. This idea, this suggestion.
Sure it didn't.
Right?
Who did it come from?
Which is why I suggested.
Which part of hell?
Which is why I suggested they must not have talked to the insurance industry before putting this in place.
No. I don't understand. We've got a lot of great messages about this. This person says here, the problem with them amending the car license rule when it comes to car insurance, I bought my car in November. The insurance is always up in November. My birthday is in August, so my insurance will always be good for 3 months upon my license renewal. They should have indicated how the government and insurance companies are going to fix this new rule. Is it that your car is going to be based on when you buy your car again? And what to do about the cars already insured? Should it be me who has all the questions? Why wasn't there a comprehensive question and answer period on this topic? Typical Bahamas. Right. Some other messages here. The new proposal is very much needed. However, I don't know if the police were consulted before bringing this to the people. There are a number of issues in the proposed law that have to be addressed. The law says your vehicle only has to be insured on the day you license your vehicle. A good number of people don't insure their vehicles after that. There are millions of dollars lost in both material and medical because there is no insurance to claim from. We need to move to a color code on your license disc to make it easier to identify unlicensed and uninsured vehicle. Road Traffic Department nor the police have scanners to read license discs. This is despite IDB providing funding years ago. Wow. Okay.
So I'm being told that the proposed law, and we're reading this verbatim, provides that the insurance cannot be canceled for 6 months. So you're bound to be covered for 6 months. I don't know.
And then what happens after the 6 months?
I don't know if that helps me figure out how that works.
This is very strange. This is very strange. Let's hear from you folks. What do you make of all of this? Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to you again.
Hi.
Good morning.
That's Chester, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Listen, All right, like you said, you can imagine somebody having to come up with what, say $400 plus another what, $300 plus $20 for a drive. Everybody can't come up with that. That's why we do things piece by piece. My insurance is always at least 2 months before my birth month because I can't afford all of that in one. I'm a minimum wage salary earner. My car is always insured full for a year, so I don't do the piece and then move on. But I cannot take, and please, whoever's doing this, they need to stop it. Consult with the insurance company. Find a way to have the road traffic police notify of persons who are doing these refunding or canceling these insurance on their vehicle, so that they can look into it. But to just throw all of this on us without any consultation, this is not fair. It's truly not fair. It's not showing any care, love, kind upon a massive BC bill. Come on, we can't take this.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you very much.
EPL food store bill. I can't pay the car insurance.
Let's take another call. Good morning.
License. I need.
It's a lot. Good morning. You're on the air.
Let me just say it in 90 seconds. This is a technology problem.
That's it? Are you there?
No, that was in 90 seconds.
Okay.
Something happened.
I don't know. Okay. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight and Jess. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Good, and good morning to the nation. This is more than a matter of, I guess, information technology, to my mind.
Uh-huh. What's going on?
What's happening?
Are you there? Is something happening, producer? No? Okay. Let's take another call.
To 15 seconds.
I don't know. Wow. Okay. Hi, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. You're on the air. Yep, good morning. You're on the air. Okay, we got something going on with the call, so we can sort that out in a second. Let's read your text messages. What's the number for the show? Really? 323-6232.
Don't use it right now.
Give it a second. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Dwight or Chester, were you ever involved in an accident with an uninsured driver who couldn't fix your vehicle? We don't have an issue with them trying to address this issue. That is desperately needed.
I don't understand what people be listening to.
I don't know what's happening. The insurance, if you're going to require people to get insurance in their birth month when they go to license their vehicles, that's going to be a major challenge, a big problem for a lot of people. And it doesn't make sense what they're doing here. There's a better way to ensure that people have insurance. There's got to be a better way to make sure people have insurance for their vehicles. There's got to be a better way than that. That's what we're saying.
So it was said before that the insurance companies would send letters to road traffic or whomever when these cover letters expire, if the person never came back to say, hey, this car is not covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have done that in the past.
Yeah.
But that's where it stops.
Yeah.
So the enforcement later on apparently is not happening.
Well, again, put it in place, like somebody said that, right? Put it in place that you can't cancel your insurance. Unless the car has been totally flattened, stolen, or whatever, you can't cancel the insurance.
So in this case, they don't cancel it, right? They just never come back to complete it.
To complete paying it.
Right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, yeah. That too, yeah. There's got to be a way, like you say.
Yeah.
But even if they do notify, will somebody on the other end be paying attention?
Paying attention.
Right?
And carry out their duty.
Well, immediately issue a warrant. I don't know, something.
Well, right. So, like, the road traffic department should call these people.
Mm-hmm.
They should have a contact for them and say, look, we see here your insurance company says you haven't been back, you're not covered.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't be driving this car.
Oh, boy. Let's take this call. Good morning.
That's a lot of calls, though.
Yeah.
Hi, can you all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good morning to you all, and good morning to the nation. To my mind, just listening to this, I think this is going to create more problems than solutions. It comes down to more than just a matter of information technology, as C. Allen suggested, in my view, although it does have a part to do with it. I think it has a lot to do with ease of doing business, which is going to become a lot more difficult. And it's also going to increase cost of doing business or cost of living, right? And those are two major areas that the government has to focus in on in order to reduce on both sides. This also comes down, in my view, to a matter of lack of tracking, coupled with what Chester just spoke about, which is ability to enforce, right, or enforcement, as he put it. And I say it's coupled with two: lack of tracking, coupled with the ability to enforce. It's so many challenges that arises with this because, for instance, as a previous texter stated, Dwight, if you purchase your vehicle in January, right, but your birthday is in June, right, you have an issue there, right, where you pretty much may end up spending a year and a half or 18 months of insurance policy in order to accommodate the government's policy of registering in your birth month, which is senseless, right? And so some mechanisms would have to change in order to, in my view, facilitate and accommodate ease of doing business as well as cost of living or cost of doing business in the country. It would make it, and in addition to that, another scenario. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yes.
Another scenario is many persons utilize the benefit that insurers provide of funding their insurance policies. What does this do to individuals who legitimately utilize the services of funding their insurance policies over a 3 or 6 month period? Or
financing.
Period.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Financing.
Yeah, financing.
Mm-hmm.
What does this do to individuals who legitimately need to utilize the service that insurance providers make available of financing, funding, same difference, your insurance with installment payments over a 3 or a 6 month period? This comes down to lack of tracking on the government side, which is a big problem, and lack of enforcement. Because at the point of sale, if the government is familiar and aware, and they are aware, because you have to provide your cover note. Once the government is aware that an individual is utilizing such service, they can make the adjustments in the system to properly track on their side of the equation, rather than seek to uproot everyone's lives as a result of their lack of tracking and enforcement to ensure that individuals who are receiving the benefit from their insurance providers of financing their insurance actually follow through with the completion of payment.
Okay.
Once the government can get their act together, I end again with tracking and enforcement, then this problem is resolved. If it does not have the technology, this is where the technology kicks in that C. Allen spoke to. If it does not have the technology, acquire the technology rather than seeking to make everyone's lives miserable as a result of the lack in technology.
Thank you very much. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more call. But I mean, it's been proposed, right, that there should have been barcodes or something on the disc, maybe that can have all that information in you, that this would expire and whether you've gone and renewed it. It should be there. And this is technology, yes, absolutely. And this is easy. This is not that complicated. But why are we doing this? Why are we trying to make life harder for hardworking Bahamians? One more call, and then we got to move on. Now we get your messages and we get to the news. Good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight and Chester, let me explain quickly. The insurance company is digital. The driver's license is digital. The tag is digital. And just like Anton denied, is you call unified communications and integration of telecommunications and computers, etc. When you buy your insurance, it's digitally verified. This has been done around the world. It's digitally verified with the insurance company based on the codes they have because they put the information there. When you cancel your insurance, it notifies the road traffic, and road traffic notifies you via email or text, whatever they have on data. Your tag may be suspended, your driver's license may be suspended. All of these things are integrated. If you want to, you could put less than $150 camera in police cars and set it on automatic. When they pull up in the back of a car, it'll read the tag and even give them alert as to whether it's insurance, this, whatever. We are a very small country. Our ICT needs are very small and very simple. We simply have not had leadership. You know the words Luditte? Look it up, Luditte. They are cemented in the past and denied of the present. I won't even say the future. So these are simple things that we have done that enhance, what you say, the speed of doing business. Technology could transform our nation if only we had leadership that understand digitization, digitalization, datification.
I think it's more sinister than that, Seattle, and I think these people actually want to get as much from us as they can get. I think they're intentionally doing this.
Let me just say this, Dwight. Do you know if you was to digitize this economy and they steal it, they'll have more to steal because the productivity goes through the roof.
Wow. Okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
One more. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, I just like to be on this topic, right? What the government is proposing can't work based on the fact that all insurance companies for comprehensive insurance gives you 3 installment payments, and they won't issue the original cover note until the full payment is made. So how is the government proposing that to work, that they repossess your vehicle?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, I think there are ways around that, but you're right. I think if they know you, they will do something else. But still, these are a number of the issues are going to come up.
Yeah.
Let's read these messages as we get ready to go to the news. This person says here, they're going to make you pay insurance by the month instead of the year. Who's they? So some may have to pay a 14-month insurance up to... No, I see a lot of you saying that. I doubt that's how it's going to work. You'll just have to come up with the 3 months and then it'll start over again. Or the 6 months and then you start over again. That's generally... They won't make you pay for 18 months insurance. I don't think that's how... That is a... But you get a short term... But let's not even think about that. We're not going to allow this to happen. Baby people, stand up. This is stupid. It's not going to happen. We're going to tell them that this is the dumbest idea they've had in a long time and come again with something else. So let's not even think about it. This was foolish and going to cause plenty more problems they're having now. Make sure you let every one of them know it ain't going to work. There's got to be a better way to deal with those folks who are breaking the law than to make the rest of us suffer. Yeah? Let's take a break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
No more pain, no drama, no more drama in my life. No one's gonna make me hurt again. Why'd I play the fool? Go through ups and downs, knowing all the time you wouldn't be around. But maybe I like the stress, 'cause I was young and restless. But that was long ago. I don't wanna cry no more. No more pain, no more pain, no more.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Now let me see now. 326 ETIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fawkes Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street.
has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards, and we are kicking off our Labor Week, our annual Labor Week series. Every year we do this before Labor Day. It's Randol Fawkes Labor Day coming up on Friday. And we are beginning with the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress. We've got President O.B. Ferguson with us this morning, and we have some other union leaders with us. We've got from the Bahamas Electrical Utility Managerial Union, Graham McKinney, and from the Consultant Physicians Staff Association, we've got Dr. Sherelle Lockhart. Freddie Munns Jr. says he's not going to speak this morning, but I don't believe him. But he's also in studio with us. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to those who are here for the first time. Great to have you with us. All right, so we're going to get details about Labor Day in a bit, but let's talk about the labor environment right now. I know there are a lot of concerns. Lots of groups are voicing their displeasure with how things are going. Obie Ferguson, you start things off for us. What are some of the issues that we're seeing in the country right now in terms of labor?
Let me begin by thanking you for allowing us to come back. I know we used to be very frequent with you. You used to wake me up in the morning. I think you decided, as I get older, I guess you decided to
let you sleep in a little bit.
Sleep a little longer.
Yeah.
But as you have indicated, my colleagues, the difficulty we are faced with now, to be honest with you, I did not expect it to be. Mm-hmm. Because when we signed the Memorandum of Understanding on August 27, 2021, it was my understanding that most of the issues we have would be resolved. And when I see the way the Deputy Prime Minister, who is the minister responsible for tourism, is treating the workers in Grand Bahama the way for almost 3 years now. He refused to sign an agreement for the workers at Aulakaya Renewal Holdings Limited, a government corporation. The government of the Bahamas decided that they would pay all corporation workers a certain amount. But for some reason, he has decided not to do it. But I just want to put him on notice, right? That will not continue to exist in the manner in which he is attempting to do it. When we had the demonstration, he came to me and he asked me, could I speak to the workers? I gave him permission to.
Right. And you're also the president of the Bahamas Hotel Managerial
I'm the president
Association.
of the Bahamas Hotel Managerial Association. And he spoke to me. He sent me an email a couple of days ago. He said he's waiting on a reply from the Minister of Finance. I then asked him, who is the Minister of Finance? That's the Prime Minister. And if the Prime Minister approve it, on what basis could he now come to the workers in Grand Bahama? These people are entitled to be treated like every other Bahamian. This brother failed to realize in 1942 he didn't even exist. The man did not exist in 1942. He didn't exist in 1958. He did not exist in 1958. Now, the workers signed a memorandum of understanding giving him all the support, and the Progressive Labour Party all the support, and he got difficulty.
Give us a little more background about this.
In other words,
what was promised and what you're waiting for.
First of all, the industrial agreement, that all industrial agreements are supposed to, by now, it's almost 3 years now, if not more, supposed to be completed, sign off. We have the consultant physician associate. These are doctors, man. These are professionals. Day in and day out, you're promising them. You got some people who can't even negotiate. These doctors are competent people. What are we doing? What are we doing to our people? So what's the point? What's the purpose of signing the memorandum of understanding? That was designed to avoid no strikes. I hope you noticed over the last, say, 3 years, we haven't had no major disruption. But that's because that was an agreement we entered into to avoid doing those type of things. Doctors need to be doing what doctors are trained to do, not to be on the streets.
Yeah. I want to get to the doctors in just a bit and BPO, but with the Grand Lucine, do you think there's a holdup because they're trying to sell the property? Do you think that's what's happening here?
If that was the case, I would have expected the Deputy Prime Minister to say that. And then I'll ask him, how did tourism come into being? Are you saying that you want to sign an agreement in the hotel industry to exclude unions? What happened to the Constitution of the Bahamas? And what happened to our agreement? Tourism exists because of the Bahamian workers. You can't exclude them, because even if you exclude them and they get 50 plus 1% of those people again, they'll be right back there. This country is based on labor, an integral part of this country. So no government can win, no prime minister or deputy prime minister government unless the workers of this country decide to support them. So we get difficulty when we see these guys who just come about, and all of a sudden, these people in Grand Bahama, a country that is suffering, or an island that is suffering, why are you going to pay other corporations and fail to pay them? So I tell the Deputy Prime Minister, he's going to get a surprise. And I'm not threatening him. I'm telling him what the reality is. We cannot allow that to happen. This one Bahamas.
How many workers are impacted by it?
But 50, 53, 54. And it's a very simple thing. 2 increments, that's what they agreed to do. And $6,000. Now you multiply, I see we're spending $30 million for the shopping center in Grand Bahama that is dilapidated. But we can't find, you multiply 53 or 52 by $6,000, and you tell me, if you can't do that, how could you expect for us to support you? You for me, my brother, I for you. It's a simple philosophy. We're not going to let him come around and deprive these Grand Bahamians what they're entitled to. He sent me a note 2 days ago. I said, what happened to the agreement? He said he's waiting on the reply from the Minister of Finance. I assume that could only be the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister agreed for the document to be executed. So we're going to do what we have to do. And I want to say to the Grand Bahamians, we are going to stand with you. We're going to do whatever we have to do to ensure that the Deputy Prime Minister realize he's only one man. He needs the support of all Bahamians.
All right. All right, so let's get to the doctors with the CPSA, Dr. Lockhart. Obie Ferguson touched on it a bit, but tell us about the challenges, what you're facing right now. What's going on?
Okay, good morning, Dwight. Thank you for having us. I think the most important thing that I want to bring to the Bahamian people is that we are concerned about their health care. I know some people might feel as though, the doctors don't care about the Bahamian people, but that is foremost in our minds. And to be able to do that, we need to have the resources, the facilities, and the support by the hospital and by the government.
Remind us with the CPSA who you represent.
So I represent the consultants of the hospital, which are the senior physicians. These are the specialists and subspecialists. Right. And we are involved in both supervising our junior staff, which goes from your registrars straight down to medical students, and we're involved in teaching. So we are teaching the next generation, the people that are going to take care of us. So this is very important to us to make sure that when we get to that stage where we need to be taken care of, those people know exactly what to do to take care of us.
And how many are in your body?
It's about it changes fairly frequently, but it's about 130 or so of us.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of our issues is that we're losing doctors left, right, and center, specialists and subspecialists. We cannot afford to lose specialists and subspecialists.
Where are they going? Private practice?
Some of them are going to private practice, and some of them are going back to the U.S.
Wow.
To the UK, to Canada, because they're tired. They're tired of fighting for the basic minimums that we should have, and they're tired of fighting for, the space to do their operations, etc. We have to have lists of people delayed because we don't have space in the operating theater. I personally am a pediatrician. We don't have space in the emergency room. I work in the emergency room to take care of kids. We are working in the old chapel for the now about 5th year. We can't get the renovations in the emergency room done, yet the government is talking about building a new hospital. And so that particularly scares us because we haven't been maintaining what we have. So how do we maintain something bigger? But I think, excuse me, one of the things that I really want to highlight is the government's lack of attention to our industrial agreement. So our last industrial agreement expired in 2021. Wow. So the consultant physician body has been working tirelessly with minimal complaint, despite the fact that the government has not paid attention to us and come to the table so that we can complete our negotiations. Every week, I'm calling the Ministry of Health for some physicians that were not compensated for the last industrial agreement, which expired already. We have some physicians working for the Ministry of Health that did not benefit from that industrial agreement. It's only 2 of them. I don't understand why the agreement has not been extended to them. And I literally call the permanent secretary every single week. And I will tell you, he responds, but of course he puts me on to the financial officer who has, to date, not responded to me.
Wow.
So that's one of our big struggles. Your senior physicians have no health insurance. So the police have health insurance, the immigration officers have health insurance, the prison officers have health insurance through the government. We have no health insurance. And they are digging their heels in even in this negotiation to give us health insurance. And I think that that's poor. Why should a consultant physician go in Princess Margaret on a semi-private ward? Why can't you be afforded some privacy, some health care given by your colleagues, which I'm sure most of them will do for no cost anyway. However, what does the consultant do if they have no health insurance? Right. And unfortunately, we are an older population. We're not the junior doctors. We're not the younger of us. And so health insurance is very important to us
absolutely.
At this time. So that's one of our big things.
Do you have a proposal due for the new industrial agreement? Have you put that already forward?
Yeah. So that has been proposed. It has been countered. And, one of the things about the counter proposal is, no, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this.
And the no was to insurance as well?
Correct.
Oh, my goodness.
Do they give you reasons for those things?
Oh, they want us to form a committee to find the cost of insurance. So this is the government that insures the police, who are a huge body. They insure immigration, who are a huge body. Why do we have to approach an insurance company to find a premium? You are the government. Approach the insurance companies and say, I have this group of people that need to be insured. How much is it going to cost us? We've been having this committee formed for the last 2 industrial agreements, and they have been 5 years each, and we still cannot get health insurance.
Wow.
So it's just been no. So in my estimation, this is not a negotiation. This is a dictation. And I don't think that is right. And we try to, as much as possible, be respectful and be quiet and do our work and take care of patients in whatever circumstance that we need to. But I think that, we've reached our final straw at this point.
What does that mean?
That means that we need to urgently have a meeting with the powers that be when it comes to the financial part of our industrial agreement, because I know that the PHA is going to say, oh, we've signed some parts of the industrial agreement. All of those parts that we have signed have nothing to do with the financial issues. So we do need to meet urgently with the financial secretary. I wrote to the Prime Minister last week, Friday. I have yet to get a response. But it really is in his hands. I've spoken to him in a public forum at our last quarterly meeting with the other trade unionists on May 8th. That has been 1 month ago. And his advice to me was continue to negotiate. But I cannot negotiate if they don't come to the table.
Right.
And if the appropriate people don't come to the table, because I can meet with the PHA all I want. They cannot tell me, yes, we can sign off on these parts of your industrial agreement. And we need to have this done because the next industrial agreement is about to be needing to be negotiated, because now they want our contracts to be 3 years and not 5.
Why? What's the reason for that?
The Prime Minister wants, apparently, to have another chance to negotiate with us again in case he's not able to give us as much as we all would like. And that's fair, but we got to get this one signed.
Right.
Because 2025, we need to be negotiating another contract.
And there's no way you can skip that one. You have to do that contract. Is that how that works?
We should.
Yeah.
We absolutely should. Because each contract, you want to see how you can negotiate something a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that's what negotiations are all about. It's about you give a little, I give a little. But it can't be no.
You would also be missing the benefits for that time period.
Correct. And they want to do that too, because now the PHA is saying that the government's position is that there is no retroactive pay. So they want to skip some years. And I will tell you, the years they want to skip are the years that we worked the hardest during
the COVID.
years.
Wow.
We busted our butts during COVID. And that's the years they want us to not have any benefit from.
Yeah.
And I think that that is unfair.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Can I bring up one more point?
Yes, absolutely.
My last point is about our safety. And it's not just safety for the physicians, it's safety for the nurses, the allied healthcare staff. We had some staff injured recently in an incident with a violent patient. And we brought it up to, all the risk people in the hospital, the legal, the hospital administrator. We did get a response from the hospital administrator that our security staff is short-staffed, which everybody is. But we have not felt anything tangible in terms of making sure that our staff is safe.
My goodness.
So we have been quietly working, with no sink in the chapel to wash your hands when you're taking care of children, with our nurses having to walk 6 miles a day to go get medication from the pediatric area to the main A&E area where there's only one Pyxis. We have one nurse. She has to take care of admitted patients as well as the numerous patients that are coming into her. We're quiet with those things. We don't have Calpol sometimes. We don't have Motrin to give kids that have fever. And I'm speaking about kids because this is what I do.
Right.
And this is what I experience every day. So I can speak to what I experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quiet. But I will absolutely not have my physician staff feeling unsafe at work.
Wow, that's a lot you're dealing with, Dr. Lockhart. Oh, boy. McKinney, we're going to get to you in a second with BPL. We could do a whole show on BPL, I'm sure. Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend Business. Are you there? Yes. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Dr. Lockhart.
Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
I'm listening to the commentary here, and, it saddens me that the nurses, and it in particular is something that's kind of personal with me because my mother has been a nurse until her retirement for over 40 years at PMH in particular. These incidences that I'm hearing about now today in this general environment of the hospital or hospitals, it really saddens me because I never heard of these things back in the day when my mother was there with some of the patriots and the matriarchs who made PMH the premier hospital of this country. We could find monies for everything under the sun. But when it comes down to the frontline workers, those who put their lives at risk, put their health at risk, we are not taking care of these persons. Therefore, we will continue to lose these persons to other countries. I long to see the day, Dwight, where our nurses, our police officers are paid premium as if they are in the United States, Canada, and all over. This seems to be the general complaint in our environment. The minimum wage in this country is atrocious. We have professionals who have studied, got their PhDs, got their degrees and everything, and yet they're here making, I would say, basement wage in comparison to their counterparts in the United States or Canada. Now, you could say, the Bahamas is a small country compared to these countries. But that's all beside the point. The point here is that these are professionals that went off, got their education, came back to this country to try and build the country, but they're not respected for it. And I am sick and tired of consecutive governments not paying attention to the cries of our professionals who are on the front line. We have to really take care of these people. I mean, how much more do we have to be discussing these same things over and over and over until someone who is in leadership or authority really takes these cries seriously?
Yeah.
But I'm going to end my commentary there. Dr. Lockhart, I hear you. And like I said, it's personal to me because I know my mother and just about every nurse in this country or doctor from back in the day knows of Mrs. Patronella Patricia Delavo. She has taught nursing in this country. And it just pains me. But anyway, I'll end my commentary here, Dwight. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We had an administration where the top man in the country was a doctor and the Minister of Health, a very well-known doctor, and nothing changed really for you guys. Did you expect it to when that administration came into power?
That's a difficult question to answer out loud.
Oh boy.
There's lots of talk.
Yeah.
But, money buy land. That's what my mom used to say.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
So.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get to Graham McKinney and BPL and a whole lot more to talk about this morning. It's our Labor Week series. We're going to be back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Are you tired of the hustle and bustle of city life, yearning for a relaxing getaway without the headaches of international travel? Well, we've got just the thing for you. Escape to paradise without leaving home with our limited time 2-fly free offer for Bahamas residents. Whether you're craving adventure, seeking to reconnect with your roots, or simply yearning to unwind in secluded shores, the Family Islands has something for everyone. But you better act fast, because this incredible 2-fly free offer is only available until June 30th. Don't let this opportunity slip away. So why wait? Book your trip today. Escape the ordinary, discover the extraordinary, and experience the magic of the Family Islands. Visit BahamasResidence.com for more information and start planning your ultimate island getaway today.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Here in the Bahamas, we love our food. From savory comforters to refreshing coconut water, our cuisine reflects our vibrant culture and abundant natural resources. But as our population grows, ensuring food sustainability is more critical than ever. By supporting local farmers and fishers, let's honor our traditions, protect our environment, and ensure that the flavors of our Bahamas endure for future generations.
Food security
is in our hands.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
We're back with Morning Glen Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards' Labor Week series. We are hearing heartbreaking stories of challenges in the work environment from Dr. Sherelle Lockhart with the CPSA. We were talking about off-air. Obi Ferguson and Graham McKinney with us as well. We're going to get back to them in a bit. But you were telling us off-air about a doctor who's quit. And there are only two of them, I guess, in the field. Tell us about what's happening as a result of that.
So as a result of that, the physician that is left, who is a subspecialist, is expected to pick up the slack. And, according to him, there has been no discussion as to how physically he can do that and what compensation he might get. And so, when you have physicians who are leaving the service for any number of reasons, then the ones that are left behind are really left in a bind.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's very unfortunate. And I think that this physician needs to understand very clearly what is expected of him and how he's going to be compensated.
You were saying before that he used to be on call every other day.
Correct, because there were two of them, right?
And
so when
now-
you're a super subspecialist, there's not many people that can do what you do. So if there are only two of you, then you're on call every other day. And now he's going to be on call every day because there are not many physicians that would be able to deal with the very specialized field.
Holidays and weekends too.
Oh, all of the above.
Oh my goodness.
And I imagine the reason the other person left was because of all of these problems in the system.
Absolutely. It is tiring. It's exhausting. I mean, every day you have to decide, okay, how much am I going to fight today? Some days you have the fight in you, and some days you have to be like, okay, I'm just going to go with the wave.
Wow. Well, if that is enough to hurt your head, well, we've got BPL, our national nightmare, and you all are in even a more precarious situation now because the future is uncertain, right? Unless you know something we don't know. Graham McKinney with the Bahamas Electrical Utilities Managerial Union. Do you know something we don't know?
Thanks, Dwight and Chester, for having us here. As far as the future is concerned, as the pages turn in Parliament, that's when we are informed.
Oh, boy.
So we're all on the same page. We're waiting and we're anticipating more information. That's what we've been asking for quite some time. But my presence here is also to speak about some issues that we still have that are outstanding. And no, it's not because the government has not said to do it. It's BPL who's saying no. We wrote to the Prime Minister. We wrote to our minister as well. We met with them, and they wrote and said that these issues need to be resolved. They wrote us again and said that they have confirmed that they have sent word to have the issues resolved, and there are some 5 to 6 issues. Only one of the issues have been resolved to date. Let's go back in time. October 2023 is when we signed our industrial agreement after many years, and then we were told when we submitted it for ratification and acceptance by the Registrar of Trade Unions that it wasn't up to scratch when it came to the law. These were things that we were arguing with at the negotiation table. Everything pretty much that we said, we were saying, this ain't gonna fly, this ain't gonna fly. The same thing came back at us. So we raised those concerns, and we got, after many emails and many incidences of saying, look, we got to get this thing redone. It's not going to be registered. It was as if it was hoped that we remain unregistered. But nonetheless, we got registered, and the anomalies that came out of the contract, we specifically outlined them to the Prime Minister, to our minister. They agreed with us. They wrote us. BPL said no, and now we only got one of them that was done. These things are serious things that we're talking about. One of the issues that I'll elaborate on, because I mean we're still, as far as I'm concerned, I think it should be over, because if you get a letter saying, do this, do that, do the next, do it. One of the things that has not been done yet is the fact that our managers have to tell their staff to engage in high-level switching. The manager is there, so is the line staff. The line staff is paid a hazard pay for his involvement in the exercise, but certain high-level switching is left on the shoulders of the manager. So we are out there, and one person is being paid for the hazard, and the person who is directing the whole exercise is not.
No hazard pay at all for managers?
No hazard pay.
Wow.
And you would think the hazard pay would have been such an absorbent amount. The hazard pay is $100 more per month. The Prime Minister said, well, if the line staff who is following the senior staff directives is getting it, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But BPL says no. That remains one of the things that is outstanding.
What's the reason?
Oh, we don't get reasons. No, that's a stretch, Dwight. We don't get reasons.
Oh my goodness gracious!
We don't get reasons. We are just told, and we're just told what will be done and what will not be done. And I'm like, well, I thought the Prime Minister was running the whole country.
Well,
but I don't know. I don't know. That's only one of the things. The other things may not be as severe as that, but they were severe enough for us to point them out as necessary to be dealt with, for our minister and the Prime Minister to say, yes, these are points of value and they need to be addressed. They wrote us and said that they gave instructions for it to be done, and the instructions are not being followed. I'm lost, Dwight and Chester, but this is the reality that we face every day.
So it's better for the staff to remain as line staff in many regards than
tell you.
to get promoted, I guess.
We've had cases where a person was like, no, I ain't going up there. No, y'all is the conch.
Wow.
That's what they tell us.
So what are you going to do? What happens now?
We have set in motion several letters and requests to have a strike vote. We're getting no traction on that at all. No traction. We were told that they were going to reach out to the powers that be at BPL and get it resolved, but we have no traction to date. We're still writing. We're still going by there to say what's going on with our initial request. And the months are gathering, and there's still nothing that's happening. The main thing that we think that should be is that if the leader of the nation, who we through the TUC signed on with a memorandum of understanding, has given a directive, who should say that it shouldn't be done? And if you're saying it should be done, then why? There's no communication as to the why. There's no communication as to the who. We're often told that there's no money. There's no money. There's never any money. But I won't elaborate on that one.
Well.
But yeah, there's never any money. So that's something that's often said to us.
Has anyone been hurt? Back to the hazard pay. Has you had managers?
No. The hazard pay doesn't speak to the competency of the senior or the junior staff. It speaks to the ethical issue. If you're paying one to be there to incur the hazard and the other is not being paid, then you're also saying that this person has assumed whatever risk.
My goodness, wow. And with the uncertainty about the future of BPL, I mean, what is that impact is that having on morale? On what are you all thinking?
Morale. If it is that we are seeing that the nation's leader can send down directives and they're not being followed, we're wondering just how easy that exercise is going to be to better our T&D, our distribution lines, our overall thrust towards renewable energy and all the other things that come along with that. We don't know how that's going to go about, if it is that something that he could actually speak to and have the minister write on and confirm. I don't know what kind of ride that's going to be for Prime Minister and his team, but for us, the road is rough.
Well, we are wishing you all the best. Obie Ferguson, there are other union leaders who were saying it when you all signed the MOA, the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, that, hey, a comfort is a promise to fools, they say, right? That you should have expected that this was just words before an election. What do you say to those, what did you expect?
Yeah, quite frankly, it is a problem.
Get a little closer to the mic for us, please, Obie.
Quite frankly, it is a problem. The junior doctors, they have the similar problem. We have issues with Bahama. They don't want no unions. And there's no support we're getting from the Department of Labor, the government. We're not getting any support in that regard. Sandals, as you know, I went to Privy Council on that matter. The Privy Council ruled in favor of the workers to this very day. Those workers are calling for representation, and we can't get no support in that regard. Kentucky Fried Chicken, the workers there, an issue with industrial agreements, we can't get any help. But that's not what we signed. We signed an agreement that these matters by now would have been disposed of. And really, nothing has happened. The vendors, they agreed that these things will be resolved. We had it all dealt with.
Which vendors are these? The straw market or?
The straw market.
Mhm.
Nothing has happened there. The Bahamas Allied Health Welfare Workers, that's the ones that deal with the dead bodies. They've been trying to even get the right to have the dues deducted. Look, it is a shocking to me. It's certainly not what I expected. It's not what the 41 unions in the TUC expected. We are disappointed, very disappointed. And when you see the Prime Minister give an order, right, like my colleague just said from BPL, I mean, the Deputy Prime Minister seems not to have any regard, absolutely any regard for what the Prime Minister says. Because the Prime Minister says, I want this agreement signed in Freeport. But the Deputy Prime Minister is saying no. So the point is, what is going to happen? There's going to be an explosion. It has to be. Because we can't get somebody who are prepared to follow the instructions of the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister said to the doctors, I am doing this for you on Friday, that must be it. I'm in the TUC. If I get my colleagues' view on the matter and I take a position, I take the position and I can make sure that go out. You're the leader. You're not the deputy leader. And and I'm not talking about one union now, I'm talking about all these unions I named. They all have problems. Department of Labor, I don't know. They moved the director in from there, but I thought it was a good idea, quite frankly. You have a new registrar who's doing a fairly decent job. But we're not interested in the workers. The workers' issues are not being put forward. And I'm saying to you, the doctors are just human like everybody else. If you take them to a point where you fail to do what you're supposed to do, the people in Grand Bahama, I mean, how could you recognize all the government corporations, right? And you have a corporation in Freeport. You said this policy is for all corporation workers. But you want to sell the hotel, I'm glad you said that. You want to sell the hotel without the workers? If that's the case, Hotel Workers Union don't exist. Because they over at Atlantis. And other workers, that's not the Bahamas. That's something different in Bahamas. That's not where we came from, you know. We came from 42. We came from 58. That's where we came from. The average Bahamian, they went out there in their white shirt and black pants under Randol Fawkes. And look where we are today. The Deputy Prime Minister, who's supposed to be an ordinary human being, who up in Exuma and all that, them other places, but he is prepared. You know, that's presumptuous. And he expects us to support him? He can't expect that. We're not going to do it. How could you?
The government uses as a public relations point now all the time the amount of industrial agreements they've signed since coming to office. What does that say to you? What does that do to you?
Exactly. You see what I just did a while ago? I just named quite a bit. 1, 7, 8 unions.
Yeah.
And the doctors are very critical to this country. Oh, how could you justify doctors working without insurance? I mean, that's just so basic and telling you funny.
Without a sink?
Without a sink.
Without a sink.
My God.
BPL.
And the hand sanitizer, things you have to run across the street for. It's not readily available.
Wow.
BPL is saying the Prime Minister told them certain things. They go to their membership and they say, look, we had a meeting with the Prime Minister yesterday. And the Prime Minister said, go, everything is approved. When you get to BPL, they say, I listen to the Prime Minister. The same thing happened in Freeport with the workers there. So we are at a point where, as a trade union Congress, right, we have to take a united position on resolving these matters. Yeah. We just have to. We don't have a choice. We signed an agreement. He breached the agreement. He's a businessman. He knows if you breach a contract, certain consequences flow. What is he doing? I expect us to sit there and say nothing. He got to be joking.
We've got just about a minute left. You said it that there's been no industrial activity, but is that coming? You said explosion.
It got to come because that's the reason why we signed the agreement, to make sure if there's an issue, we can go to the minister involved, the prime minister, and say, look, we don't want to go on the street. That's the reason we signed the agreement. Mm-hmm. But you think we're not going to do it? You think we're going to allow Chester Cooper to deny the people in Grand Bahama, deny the doctors what they're supposed to get, deny BPL and the other companies? We're not going to allow that to happen. Mm-hmm. We didn't do it when minister was there. So now why do you think we're going to now agree? Because Chester, he has his business, He got his cash and go, and he's doing extremely well.
Mm-hmm. Well,
no problem.
There'll be other ministers for you all as well.
Yes.
Right? So it's everybody but is not listening to what the prime minister is saying. Basically.
Obviously.
Right.
Obviously.
All right. Well, let's see if we can end on a slightly positive note. Labor Day is Friday. What can we expect? What do people need to know about Friday?
Well, what I'd like to see, this is our 50th anniversary. I'd like to see every worker in this country, every worker, and please adopt the position that was put forward by Sir Randol. Sir Randol's position was not the trade union movement. And this is what I'm going to recommend to my colleagues as we're having a conclave sometime in July. We are moving back to what he did. That is the labor movement, and not the trade union, because we want their benefits to continue even when they cease being a worker, a wage worker. And that's what Sir Randol, that was so successful for the movement. So we're going to have a march. The Prime Minister is going to be at the march with us. He's going to also be making some speeches at the end. I will also be speaking, giving my fantastic Labor Day speech. And, I just want all workers in the Bahamas, whether you are in the union, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. As long as you are Bahamian, we would like for you to come out. Whether you have a uniform or not, whatever you wear, come out and be a part of it. This is a special day for us, because after this we're gonna have to do something unique in this country to solve the doctor's problem, to solve the workers in Grand Bahama problem, and all the workers we have. We will call a conclave and we'll take a position. We're not going to let Chester Cooper, our Deputy Prime Minister, run like he has freedom to do whatever he wants to do. That ain't gonna happen.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Really appreciate you all. Obie Ferguson, Dr. Sherelle Lockhart, and Graham McKinney, thank you so much for being here. And Freddie, you've been quiet today, but thank you for being here this morning.
Which is very unusual.
Yeah, right, very usual. We're going to take a quick break and then wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I'm taking care of business. Woman, can't you see? I gotta make it for you, and I gotta make it for me. Oh, sometimes it seems, girl, I'm neglecting you. Well, I love to spend more time. I got so many things to do. Oh, I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got work to do. I got a job, baby. I got work to do. 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 I got work.
Are you tired of the hustle and bustle of city life, yearning for a relaxing getaway without the headaches of international travel? Well, we've got just the thing for you. Escape to paradise without leaving home with our limited time 2-fly free offer for Bahamas residents. Whether you're craving adventure, seeking to reconnect with your roots, or simply yearning to unwind in secluded shores, the Family Islands has something for everyone. But you better act fast, because this incredible 2-fly free offer is only available until June 30th. Don't let this opportunity slip away. So why wait? Book your trip today. Escape the ordinary, discover the extraordinary, and experience the magic of the Family Islands. Visit BahamasResidence.com for more information and start planning your ultimate island getaway today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Be sure to pick up today's Guardian Business section for the latest in business news. This segment of the show brought to you by Seafowl, growing wealth for future generations. Chester Robards, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Yeah,
I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend business.